Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. Lenny Melnick, happy birthday. I want you to have just the greatest birthday. It was great to hear King Hap's wife call in and speak to the legend on his birthday. I'm telling you, man, it gets no better. I hope all you guys send him a text. Come on now, it's his birthday. Come on. It's a great day. It's beautiful here in North Carolina. On Tuesday, I was talking to you about free agency and the pitchers who are going to be on the free agent market. And today we're going to talk about hitters. The bats will be alive. Now, how about the news yesterday? This week, Major League Baseball getting ready to present a plan to the Players Association. And I was talking about this 2 weeks ago. I was really giving them a hard time, right? I was like, come on, Major League Baseball. At least come up with a plan. Even if we can't follow through on it because something could happen, I got that. At least give us something to work with. And they are, it sounds like. So I'm really going to be tuned in to the plan, whatever the plan might be, coming up this weekend or the next few days, just to see what might be happening, when we might start a season up. Hey, I'm ready. Let's talk catchers. How will this season affect next year's free agent market? Well, first of all, shortened season should not get as, worn down, as tired. And you've got some veterans who are going to be free agents, a lot of veterans who are going to be free agents. Now they don't have to have a grueling season leading into that year. And we're going to go position by position and look at some of these guys. And let's start with catcher. Not a lot of attractiveness here, but then again, the catching position is really not that great. But let's start at the top. How about JT Realmuto? Yeah, I gotta think that JT Realmuto is the prize of the catching pool, period, among all Major League Baseball teams. And now here it is, 2020, after this season, he's a free agent. What will he do? I don't know. It's going to be exciting, right? He's got the power tool. He's got the hit tool. Doesn't run as much as he used to. I got that. But he still can run a little bit. And, 10 stolen bases out of the catching position, you're not going to get that very often. The batting average is always good. Realmuto, barring some injury, should put up respectable numbers yet again. And if he does, then look for him to be the prize catch of the catching pool. Now, beyond Realmuto, who will be in his age 30 season, he's the youngest of these guys that we're talking about at catcher. How about Robinson Chirinos? Now, last year, coming into the fantasy season, if you listen to our shows, Phil Chaplin and I on our Tuesday night show spent time, on my individual show spent time, talking about Chirinos and the potential of the numbers he could put up. Now, last year, he hit .238. He had 17 homers, 58 RBIs. He's going to be catching in Texas again, shortened season. I don't know that he'll put up those numbers because those were over a 162-game season. But I do know this. I do know he won't have the wear and tear of the whole season, and he's got incredible power. And I've got my eye, fantasy, reality, on Robinson Chirinos, another catcher. And I read this week that Yadi Molina, say it ain't so, Yadi. Say it ain't so. Yadi says, hey, if the Cardinals don't sign me, I'll go play somewhere else. A moment of silence, please. You go back and you look at players who were playing when I was a kid. And how many times did we hear about that Dodger infield from, 73 to 82, whatever it was, the Dodger infield where the first baseman, Garvey, the second baseman, Lopes, the shortstop, Russell, the third baseman, Say, played together for 9 straight years? Never happened again. Yadi Molina, he's a dying breed. He's a player who has played his entire career at a very high level with the same club, the St. Louis Cardinals. And looking at his numbers last year, .270 batting average, 10 home runs, 57 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases. Yadi Molina doesn't seem to show any sign of skill diminution. I mean, he's going to continue to perform, it looks like, as we expect him to perform. And he handles the pitching staff, the defensive part of the game, which is not fantasy relevant, but he handles that as well as anyone. And so for him to possibly leave St. Louis, I just can't imagine. I really can't. I think the Cardinals will re-sign Molina. Maybe a one-year deal. Okay, he's getting some age on him. I got it. Yadi's in his age 38 season. Can you imagine him wearing a Cub uniform? Just saying. You know, the friendly confines catching today is Yadi Molina for the home team. I don't know. I don't see that. Another catcher who I really like, and I think he could be the value, Roberto Perez. Roberto Perez, the Cleveland Indian backstop, last year, wow, 24 homers, 63 RBIs. Now he's going to get, I think, even more volume over the course of the shortened season. What I mean by that is where he says he might have played, 4 out of 7 games or 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I think he might play 8 out of 10. I think he's going to pick up that extra game out of 10 games. I think he's going to get a little more percentage volume, less at bats, of course, because the season is going to be shortened. But 24 homers from the catching position, 63 RBIs, and let me tell you, the kid can play the position. He's going to be, I think, out of Cleveland, somewhere else. What team needs a catcher? What team's going to be looking for a defensive and a guy who can hit the ball with some power? Yeah, he only hit 239, but so what? Now he's 32 years old. So I think he will be a high-in-demand player on the free agent market. Another catcher, world champion, Kurt Suzuki, who projected may be playing more than less this year for Washington. He hit 264 last year with 17 homers, 63 RBIs, and a part-time role. Great hitter. We saw him in the playoffs, saw him in the World Series. Incredible at bats, clutch at bats, runs pretty well. Now Suzuki, he's going to be 37 this year. That's going to hurt him a little bit, right? But remember, he's not been shouldering the everyday catching responsibilities in Washington. He's had some days off. The platoon last year with Gomes, probably a platoon this year with Gomes. If he can continue to hit at the 17 home run pace, he will be coveted on the free agent market. So there's the catchers. Now, first base is a real interesting position. I may not get through all these batters today, I'm telling you. At the top of the class, if you will, how about Anthony Rizzo, Chicago Cub great? 31 years old, okay? And though he can become a free agent, it's a club option for 2021. It's a $14.5 million club option if the Cubs decide to exercise the option, compared to a $2 million buyout. $14.5 million looks reasonable for the numbers. You're going to get 30 home runs every year. You're going to get 90 to 100 RBIs and an occasional play at second base, right? 31 years old. I look for him to stay a Cub, but it really comes down to where do the Cubs see themselves mid-season? Where do the Cubs see themselves at the end of the year? Do they decide to go younger? Do they decide to go a different direction? Or do they hang on to the 31-year-old World Series champion from 2016, Anthony Rizzo? The thing about Rizzo, too, and I don't know how much this will play or not play, but he has been very active in the local Chicago area, charity-wise, helping others in need. He's popular. He's a fan favorite. I guess the fans, if you win, they get over whatever, right? But I'm just saying, I don't know if that factors in or not, but $14.5 million is not on today's market an excessive salary. So I really look for the Cubs to exercise that option. Another player, 35-year-old Carlos Santana, another option, but this one's a little bit more. Now, Cleveland, a small market club. Chicago Cubs, a big market club. Santana, 35 years old, a $17.5 million club option at the end of the season. I don't see Cleveland biting that apple, and it's only a $500,000 buyout. Santana had the best year of his career last year. I mean, he really did. I've passed on Santana in fantasy many times in the past because he never had the batting average. Now, if you were looking for on-base percentage, he's a walk king. But last year, career high in average, 281. 110 runs scored. 34 home runs. 93 RBIs. Clearly his best major league season, and now he enters his age 35 season. Can he repeat those numbers? I don't know. I mean, nobody's going to repeat the numbers. What I mean is, can he produce the same production? Are we going to see similar production over a shortened season? I can bet you this. If we do, he's out of Cleveland no matter what. And it's the matter then is what club needs a first baseman. Couldn't you just see him in Boston? I mean, Boston's had this struggle lately. Moreland, he's not the answer. He's a gap filler. They can't find that regular first baseman. Santana's a switch hitter. I could just see him in Boston plugging it away. Or if Chicago let Rizzo go, could they sign Carlos Santana? And he wouldn't look really bad in Philadelphia in that little ballpark. But he's 35. And so any commitment is going to probably be short term when it comes to these first basemen. Now, there are a few other first basemen. Yuli Gurriel for Houston, another career year for him last year. He's entering his age 37 season. All these guys are getting old. And there's got to be some discount for the age. Now, Gurriel last year for the Astros, 31 homers. Juice ball or not, he had 31 homers. And for the last 3 years, he has been on the upside of his statistics. Now, he'll be closer to 40 when he becomes a free agent than way to 30. And that's not going to help him. But he's put up these numbers, and he can play third base as well. No option, probably hits the market. Look for Houston to try to get younger and save that money. Two more players, one a little older, one a little younger. Let's do the older one first since we're in that mindset, right? Daniel Murphy, 36 years old, $12 million option, $6 million buyout for Colorado. And this year's a huge year for him because if you see Daniel Murphy starting and playing every day, then that means he's going to get the at-bats. He's going to put up some numbers. I'm assuming they'll be playing in Colorado. I'm assuming he'll put up the numbers he were used to without injury. But when you get that age on a player, you know that it's going to be a discount come free agent time. And it will be for Daniel Murphy. One more player, though, that intrigues me. A younger player, C.J. Cron. C.J. Cron in Detroit, he's going to play regularly. That's been the holdback with C.J. Cron throughout his career. Is wherever he's gone, he's always had to share time with someone. This year in Detroit, he's the number one and only that I know of first baseman. Miggy's going to be DHing when he plays. And you're going to have C.J. Cron playing regularly at first base. And I look for C.J. Cron to put up some really big numbers, like 35 home runs. And we're going to see If he does that in his age 31 season, then what kind of free agent contract would he be looking at?